Welcome to the City of Eureka Springs BOZA and Planning Commission meeting. This is Tuesday, December 12th, 2023. It is 6 o'clock in the auditorium. Can I get a roll call, Tom?
Peter Graham.
He's absent.
Susan Hallman.
Here.
Susan Gruning. Joshua Dugan.
Josh is supposed to be on Zoom. Is that correct? Okay, I don't see anything yet. Okay.
Ansa Lee.
Here.
Fergie Stewart.
Here.
And I'm President Tom Buford.
All right, we have a quorum. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let me go get public comments. Okay, this first meeting that we're going to do tonight will be the Board of Zoning and Adjustment. I do have public comments, so first let's do a couple things. We've got two meetings tonight, one Board of Zoning and one Planning Commission. In each of those we can do public comments, so let's go ahead and look at our agenda as far as approving that for the Board of Zoning Adjustment meeting that we'll do first.
I make a motion that we approve the agenda.
All right.
Second.
All right, we've got a motion and we've got a second to go ahead and approve the agenda as it is stated on the agenda. Does anyone have any public comments on 8 Washington Street? All right, come on up to the mic. And then you'll just state your name and your address, please.
Good evening. My name is Kimberly Clark, and I live at 900 Pivot Rock Road in Eureka Springs, Arkansas. I'm here to express what a great opportunity that you all have to continue the 8 Washington. I was here in the 70s when it was an old folks' home and made an attempt to purchase it in August or July. And because of this situation, I chose not to follow through with that. And there's a great need for historic structures to be saved. There's also a great need for people to have care when there was nothing even in Northwest Arkansas for Richard, which is why we went to that. Happened to be on the market for sale. And we made an attempt earlier. He was the Episcopal priest here for many years in Eureka, to buy General Jackson's house for that same purpose, and the issues with the elevator that we would have to put in, and then there had been a fire earlier. But I just want to say it's just a great opportunity to continue the conditional use permit so people have the option of creating things that really are meaningful in our community.
Thank you. Is there anybody else? No. All right, so Board of Zoning Adjustment, no unfinished business, so let's go right into 8 Washington Street. This is to continue the waiver of 200-foot rule for a conditional use permit for a bed and breakfast lodging. This is for Jamie and Jonas Funston. My understanding is they are not here. But we do have the realtors that are representing both sides here. So if you all could come up. And then just state your names.
Good evening.
Just make sure that mic is close to you.
Okay.
You can move it if it's not at the right level.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good evening. I'm Cecilia
still have to
Foy.
come closer.
I'm Cecilia Foy with Century 21 Lions out of Siloam Springs, and I'm a native to Rogers.
Good evening, guys. I'm Lila Allison with Century 21 Woodland Real Estate here in Eureka Springs, and I'm representing the sellers.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions, just to understand exactly what this CUP is? Ann?
Yeah, I just wanted to confirm, this is for a bed and breakfast, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions for them?
The new owners, I guess the ones purchasing the property, are they native to Arkansas? Are they around the area?
They are not native to Arkansas. They have recently been introduced to the Northwest Arkansas through some friends who moved into the Bentonville area. They've vacationed numerous years in Branson, and so it's just a natural migration to Eureka Springs once you've been into Bentonville and Branson, in my opinion. So, but he is a realtor also in Arizona, and they have a couple of short-term rentals in that area that are of luxurious accommodations. So,
Ann?
They are planning on living there.
yes, either they or they have a manager in mind that will be living there. They've already spoken to the manager and just waiting to put everything into final stages to make those commitments.
Okay, and then you said that the plan right now is that they will probably be closing around the middle of January, correct?
January 12th is the date on the contract at this
Yeah.
point, and
Okay.
we have a business license to apply for,
Okay.
which is pretty much the only other obstacle. If we're assuming we get approval tonight, we'll move forward with that tomorrow.
There are a couple things that you do need to do, or that they will need to do. One is the business license.
Okay.
But then there's also registering with the CAPC for
Yeah, okay.
accommodation tax, the advertising and promotion tax here too. So
Okay.
because they are a CUP and because they are in a residential zone, those are things that are audited on a regular basis to make sure that they are actually doing those things.
Okay.
Once they are here and once they're in business. So anybody else have any questions that you want to ask them?
I do. So the owners are not going to be living in the area, like not even in the state, correct? They're from Arizona?
They live in Arizona currently, that they have, their children are now grown, and so they're thinking of retiring into this area because the kids have gone off to college, they've gotten families, and you know how it is. You have a career in one place and then you decide to come somewhere else. But I can't say for sure that they're going to do that immediately, hence the reason why they likely are going to put a manager in there initially and then further their plans as things develop for them. And as you're aware, when things are under contract, it's hard to make permanent decisions when nothing's solid yet. So, but their intent is, to live there or have their manager there at all times.
Anybody else with any questions? Okay, so this is a vote to continue the waiver that is currently associated with that CUP and also to continue that CUP as a bed and breakfast lodging there at 8 Washington. So that's what we're voting on. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. I'm sorry, Ann, did you want to
I was
ask?
just going to make a motion that we continue the waiver of the 200-foot rule.
Oh,
There you go.
okay, you want to do them separately?
I think we should do them separately.
Okay, all right. So your motion is to go ahead and continue the waiver of the 200-foot rule. Can I get a second?
Second?
All right, all those in favor of continuing the waiver on the 200-foot rule signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, you want to make a motion on the second half?
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Would you want to do the, okay, we're just doing the waiver, right?
Yeah, just
Yeah,
the waiver right
okay.
now.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
Make a motion, we adjourn, Boza.
Second?
All right, so we've got a motion and a second to adjourn this meeting. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, so let me go ahead and get this signed. And then what will happen is we're going to take this down to City Hall. So did you all talk with Glenna?
Yes.
Okay, so basically, once we've signed this, and this goes back to Glenna, I'll probably take it back either tomorrow or Thursday, then she's just gonna, you can either contact her, or she'll contact you, so you can get a copy. Okay?
Thank you. I appreciate your time
Okay.
and consideration tonight.
All right,
you.
thank you.
Is it okay to go ahead and remove the signage from the property now? Or does it need to
Who put
stay?
it out?
I did.
Did you put the yellow sign out?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that will have to come back to City Hall. So if you want to drop it off?
So it's okay to pick it up now? It
Yes.
doesn't need- Perfect. I'll bring it back down to
Yep,
the
perfect.
city.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That needs my signature. Okay, so that's it on that one. All right, so we've adjourned our BOZA meeting, so let's go into our Planning Commission meeting. Can I get, I was going to say approval of the agenda. I have a couple things I need to clean up on the agenda. Ann?
I'd like to remove 263 Spring Street.
Okay, so under new business, we're going to remove,
It's under unfinished business.
under unfinished business, we're going to remove number 1, which is 263 Spring Street.
Correct.
Okay. I'd also like to remove 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 under commission business. We're going to hold off on those. And then I have one addition, which is we'll do it under the approval of the minutes, which would be the, just an overview of the sidewalk workshop. So if we could add that on there. So we're taking off all unfinished business. We're taking off everything except for approval of our minutes and a discussion overview on the sidewalk workshop. Does
I make a
anybody-
motion that we approve the modified agenda.
I second that.
All right, so we've got a motion and we've got a second to approve the modified agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. All right, under new business, but before we do that, does anybody have any public comments for Planning Commission? So, all right, so no public comments for our Planning Commission meeting. Under new business, we have number 1, which is the 302 Village Circle, new construction of stage. Do we have anybody here that's representing them?
Good evening. My name is Josh Kauser, Buffalo Builders.
All right, so this is new construction of an open outdoor stage.
Yes, ma'am.
We know this has been on our agenda for several weeks.
Right.
We know that HDC has already approved this, and the building inspector, the city's building inspector has already approved this. So,
Yes, ma'am.
does anybody have any questions on this particular item?
Why are we coming now to do this when it's already built?
Sir?
Is the stage already been built now?
Yeah, it's near completion, yes.
Well, don't we normally come in before you build something, get
Yes,
permission
sir.
before you build it?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
So
Yes,
it
sir. There was
doesn't
some,
matter what we do tonight because it's already built. So whether we approve or disapprove, it's already there.
there was some confusion on the front end when the project was started, whether a permit was needed or not. We were originally told there wasn't, and then once we got down the road a little ways, once they realized the design, they said we need to go ahead and go through the permit process.
So I guess it's just a note to South.
Correct.
Yes, we won't do it that way anymore. All right, does anybody else have any questions for, no? All right, so let's go ahead and vote to approve the,
I make a motion that we approve the stage at 302 Village.
A second?
All right, so we've got a motion and a second to approve the new construction of the stage at 302 Village Circle. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Good.
Okay, thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, ladies, I'm sorry. We're still going to do the CUP.
You got one more?
Yeah. Okay, item number 2, Planning Commission meeting, 8 Washington Street. This is the second half of that property discussion this evening, which would be to continue the CUP for 2 units of a bed and breakfast lodging. Does anyone need the realtors to come back up to ask any additional questions?
I make a motion, we approve the CUP, the transfer of the CUP at 8 Washington.
Second?
All right, so we've got a motion and a second to go ahead and continue and transfer this conditional use permit for 2 units at 8 Washington Street. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right. I'm going to give you this here in a second.
Congratulations. Thank you very much. There you go. Second.
I need to have the realtor sign it. I need to make a copy.
Right.
So I'll let you go ahead and sign this one. And then can I get one of you to sign this? And then I'll give you a copy. Alright, so, I guess you're representing, the owner. All right, thank you. Thank you. All right, do I need anything else on this? I'll do this one right. Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Okay, let's move into commission business. So we've got a couple of our meeting minutes to approve. One is the October 10th. Can
I
I
make
get
a motion to approve the minutes of October 10th.
I second.
All right, we've got a motion and a second to approve the meeting minutes of October 10th, 2023. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, second one is meeting minutes from November 14th, 2023.
Make a motion that we approve the minutes of November 14th, 2023.
I second.
All right, we've got a motion and a second to approve the meeting minutes from November 14th, 2023. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, meeting minutes are approved. The next item is sidewalk workshop. So, Tom, you want to go ahead and just give an overview of kind of what happened and what we did over the last couple weeks? Make sure you're close to the mic.
Well, I think we did have some success, I guess, now in getting everybody kind of involved in the fact that we need to do something with the sidewalks. And I was impressed by, Jackie's comment about, as far as getting grants, when she mentioned rather than talking about the tourists, which is the kind of thing I've always talked about, we need to have them because the tourists like to walk up down the street and take pictures of all the houses on Spring Street. Her point was, well, we need it for the people in Eureka Springs as a way of getting around. As you know, in Northwest Arkansas, they're promoting the bike pass and the walking pass now in Fayetteville, Bentonville, and Rogers. And I think some of that's kind of coming over here now. And I was kind of encouraged by, her comments about the type of grant we should be applying for. And I'm encouraged. It looks like the city council is getting behind it now. And I just feel like, I think as you mentioned in your public comments at the city council last night, that this is not next week or next year, but maybe 4, 5, 6, 10 years down the line. But I do see, I read the paper about every day, and there are grants out there all the time that people are doing innovative things with the money. There was a lot of money left over from the American Rescue Plan that they're still trying to get rid of before they have to give it back in 2025, whenever it is. And the BBB plan that got passed that had all kind of money in it. So I think there is money out there. And if we keep on just pressing, hopefully we'll find some money to do some work there. But like you say, it's going to be a long-range plan, but you've got to start somewhere. And I think that the city is doing that now, and I'm encouraged by it.
Yeah, and I will just say that city council, I mean, it was nice to see city council being supportive of having the discussion, dependent upon how far it goes and what information is gathered. Again, we're not talking about a one-year plan. We're talking about, 5, 10, 15, 20 years. So there's a lot to be fixed out there, but, again, it's not about us. It's about the town and where it will be in the next 25 years. So it's going to be a long process, but it just needs to stay on the radar. So anybody else have any questions or any thoughts on sidewalks? Okay. All right. So let's look at agenda setting. So I know we're going to be coming up to the first of the year. I'm hopeful that we'll have Kyle back in the City Hall office.
That'd be great.
And we do have a new commissioner. I thought that he would be on Zoom this evening, but maybe something went wrong technically with his connection. So we actually have a full commission at this point. Ann, did you have something that you wanted to add specifically?
Yes, I was on the agenda setting. I'm bringing 4, I don't know, maybe modified ordinances or new ordinances for us to look at based on the audits that we did of the bed and breakfast, of things in code that we need to shore up. And I will have those at the January meeting.
Okay, so this is all related to the B&B ordinance.
This is all related, no, let's just say it's related to tourist lodging and B&B.
Okay.
Yeah. And that way we're capturing everything at the same time, and we can determine how we want to divvy it up or what we want to do with it.
We talked a little bit about doing your wish list. So if there is anything that everybody would like to add to the list. Last year, Tom had the tree ordinance on his list, and that finally got through. We had some other discussions too, but it's good to have a list so that we can work on it and we know where we're going. So if you just kind of start thinking about that a little bit. I know the rest of us have kind of done that from year to year, but I know, Susan, you haven't. But if there's anything in particular that you really, really want to kind of get your...
Do I have to answer right now or
No.
can I think about it?
No, you don't have to. So there is one other thing, though, that I did want to bring up while we're still in commission business. There is a possibility that we might do a special meeting on I think it's Wednesday the 20th, so next week.
Okay.
Because of this, some of the storms that came through recently with the higher winds, we've got some trees that are in really bad shape and are causing some issues. Jacob called me earlier today and asked if the 20th could possibly be in a opportunity for us to do a special meeting so he can get some things taken care of. We're not going to meet until next month, so we'd have to go a whole month. And if there are some that are really dangerous and could impact some houses or properties, I think we should try to get that taken care of. So
But we can only do one thing at the special meeting. So are all these trees
I
on
don't
the
know.
same property?
I can find out. So we could do a special meeting and maybe he could just figure out if I don't know if it's one property. I don't know if it's 10 properties. I don't know I don't know yet. So what I'm trying to find out here is whether or not if we get a little more information tomorrow, if everybody is available on the 20th.
The only thing I have on the 20th is my mother's in assisted living in Huntsville, and they have this dinner at 1.
Okay.
That,
So could probably do it maybe at like 4 to 6.
yeah.
So does that sound okay? So we'll get some more information about it, but, if there's something that he really needs done and maybe
Sure.
it's all on one property, then we could go ahead and do that. So,
Yeah, I've got a meeting that morning, but 4 to 6 would work.
4
for
to
me,
6
yeah,
works?
somewhere in
Okay.
that time frame.
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, Commissioner comments. Fergie?
Yeah, wow. Well, last Saturday I spent with Santa. Me and Santa greeted people and took pictures, and I held the camera a lot. But one thing I can tell you, we had people from as far as China and as close as Eureka. I mean, it was amazing. There was a lot of happy kids and a lot of happy adults. Matter of fact, I think took 10 dog pictures. There was a lady that was the dog's 10th anniversary to have her picture taken with Santa. So some of these things are interesting to Eureka, but anyway, and the lights are looking great. The windows went really well, I thought. The display, the live, what do they call that? Windows
Living
live,
windows.
living windows. And that went well, and I think our town looks really good. And like I told the mayor at the council meeting, this last year, I've never seen a better functioning city as far as the public works, fire department, all the different entities, as far as them working as in sync more than I have ever before. So that's all I got.
Tom?
8 Washington was on our agenda tonight as a CUP. Right after I got on planning, the gentleman that bought that property came in, and I think it was an old nursing home that had almost been condemned. I think you could see the floor, the dirt underneath the flooring in there. And they brought a rendering to planning to show what they were going to do. And I looked at it and I said, are y'all really going to do that? And they said, well, yeah. I said, and I shouldn't have said it. I said, you really know what you're doing? I mean, in a kind of, not quite that abrupt, but almost that way. I couldn't imagine they could take that old building, which I walked by and looked at, and turn into how it turned out. And you can take that rendering done years ago, and it looks exactly like that. So the people that bought that years ago and developed it really did a tremendous job, and it really is an asset to the town now. And I'm glad to see that the people are continuing, hoping, take care of it like it deserves. But yeah.
Susan?
So when you talked about the living windows, I went through town and they were great. And one of the areas I'd like to see maybe help develop more is Main Street, going down on Main in that way. However, when I did get down to Main, it was about 20 to 7, I think, and nobody had anything.
Yep.
I saw on Facebook, so I'd like to maybe encourage those business owners that even if you don't see the influx like we do up on Spring, you have to stay there for people to be able to come down and enjoy it. So, if we talk about a wish list, I would say let's try to encourage people or the town to maybe, how do we focus on, it's just not Spring. We have a lot of businesses on Main that I just think they need some TLC.
The buildings themselves?
Well, no, not the buildings, just support.
Support.
Yeah.
Ann, do you have anything?
Just wish everybody a very safe and Merry Christmas.
There you go. Merry Christmas.
Well, hopefully you feel like this year we've accomplished a few things. I know we've had, Kyle's been out. I really hope that he's back. I wish him well, wish him a wonderful holiday season. And so thankful for Glenna for stepping in.
Yep.
And putting this information. I know it's not perfect every single time we've come to our meeting, but she is trying, and I mean, what would we do without her being there?
Yep.
So I do appreciate her, and just wanted to say thank you for her efforts in keeping our meetings going and providing us with the information that we needed for each of our meetings, and being there when people come in and have to fill out applications. So, okay, all right. Well, anyone want to?
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Second that.
All right, motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, meeting adjourned.
Happy New Year. Merry Christmas.